Yeah, that's old. You go back a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord, I did travel nursing and all that. So
And
my
then
husband retired. And
we moved in 78, the end of February 78. My husband and I moved to Cincinnati, and we were in that area for 10 years. So that I kind of lost track, but a lot of people very good,
Right.
very
Yeah,
good
very
to
good.
me, very encouraging.
Yeah, very,
But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm not sure where everybody is, but, everybody's where they're supposed to be, I guess.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll open up with a word of prayer. Father God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for just allowing us to come together. God, we know this is a tough situation and a tough time when we're grieving. But God, you give us the words, you give us the things to look for and how to grieve healthy and how to grieve through our process. God, we thank you in advance for everything you're doing. We thank you for Miss Ruth for coming out. We thank you for the ones who are watching online. We thank you, just Lord, for blessing those who come today. Thank you in advance for what you're doing, even in my life, God. Give me the words to say that are encouraging to help someone along the way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, giving your grief breathing room. I talk to so many people who go, I just can't breathe. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm at sometimes. My day is just like smothered. I'm smothered. So how do I get through that? I said, well, I'm glad you asked. So the scripture that I picked for that is the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. What a God, what a great God to serve that is close to us when we feel like we don't have anything else. Coming from Psalms 34:18. Let's see. So, understanding your grief. Grief is a natural response to loss. Um, the important thing to remember is that grief is not something you get over. You don't get over grief. It is something that you learn to carry differently because you can't bring that loved one back. You can't, wish them to be right here or go through those things, having them here, whether it's a sickness, whether it was a suicide, whether it was whatever, a tragic event. We have to carry it a little differently. And so sometimes, even in the same families, we carry grief differently, you know. So as we carry that, do we carry it healthy or do we carry it unhealthy? What happens when we grieve? Sometimes people say they stay busy to avoid it. I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to stay busy. I'm going to go to work every day. I'm going to do this. When I get home, I'm going to start cleaning. I'm going to start moving things, pretending they're fine. When all along you know that you're not. You show on the outside that you have this smile and everything is good, but then deep down inside, when you get alone or when you get in bed at night, it starts showing. Feeling the pressure to move on quickly. I know you've run into people that said, "You still grieving? And it's been 2 months. You should be through that." No, you should not. Because grief has no expiration date. So how can we tell people your grieving time is over? We can't. Suppressing the tears and the emotions, saying, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. When people come up to you and say, how's so and so doing? And they've been gone for, 3 months, a year. I just had a lady, we were serving dinner we're doing a repast for a family. And the girl standing beside me, her mom passed a year or so ago. And the lady came through the line and we're serving her. And she says, how's your mama doing, girl? I haven't seen her in a while. And she just kind of froze for a minute. And I just put my hand on her back and just rubbed her back for just a little bit, saying, are you okay? I said, you can step away if you want to. We got this. She said, no, I'm okay. And so she said, oh, mom passed, over a year ago. But it was just like over a year and this lady hadn't seen them. So she was just asking in general. She wasn't trying to be mean or anything, but she had to suppress those tears to get through just that moment even. Carrying silent grief alone, you know. You keep going through your day, you're going to work every day, you're out in the community every day, and, nobody knows that you're still grieving. You know? So we want to be able to open up and share tears and stuff whenever that happens. Um, when grief is suffocated, when grief is suffocated, it can show up as this. How many of you have felt anxiety? How many of you get angry about little things like, why did I get angry over that? Isolation, going in your room, going off somewhere and being by yourself, not joining in when family comes over. You want to stay in your room. You want to stay isolated away from work, co-workers and things like that. Your physical illness, your body starts hurting whenever you're not grieving properly. Blood pressure may shoot too high. Blood pressure may go down too low. You're not eating right. You're eating junk food, or you may overeat or undereat. Spiritual struggles, did I know God like I thought I did? Do I still love God? Does he still love me? Why did he put me through this? So we start questioning our spirituality when all along God is still there. Just know, if you ignore your grief, it does not erase what has happened. It doesn't erase it. It's still there. And a lot of people think that it can erase it. Like, if I don't show it, if I don't do anything, it's gone. No, all you're doing is suppressing it and having it to choke you. And I tell people that when they come to grief sessions, you're allowing your grief to choke you, and it shouldn't choke you. It should be a healthy grieving process. Allow yourself permission to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel numb. How many of us have, left the repast, or it's been months and you still feel numb? Like, did this really happen? Especially if something happens as a tragic event. Did this really happen? You question yourself, like, I don't know if this really happened or not. And especially if you don't have a closure as far as a full funeral service, if you don't have that, that's part of your closing. That's part of your closure part of it. And you may feel numb. Some days you have good days and some days they're not so good. You're like, I don't know if I'm doing okay or not. You are. You are doing okay. It just doesn't feel like it at the time that you're doing okay. Healthy ways to process your grief. You can journal. If you like to write down some things. I call it a brain dump. I tell people to write down your thoughts, especially before you go to bed at night, because at night is when you feel like, I'm not getting through this. Everything is coming back to my mind. Everything is happening, and I can't figure out what to do first. Journal, write it down, get it out of here so it's on paper. I call that my brain dump. Prayer and meditation. Tell God how you feel. He already knows. He already knows what you're feeling. He's your creator. He knows what you're going through. Pray and ask him how to get through this for you. Talking with trusted people. You don't have to go tell everybody your business, but if you feel like you need to talk to people, then talk to people. Some people feel like, I don't want to talk to them, or I don't want to talk to them, and a lot of times it's our own family members that we don't want to talk to. But we have to learn to find that one person that we can connect to, that we feel that we can trust them. Celebrate our loved one. And in celebration, I mean whether you do a balloon release, or you do, you put their name up somewhere, you have a picture of them, that you may have a memorial stand that a lady created. It used to be, I think, her china cabinet, one of the little corner china cabinets. She put all her grandson's stuff in there, like when he played sports and the funeral stuff. She put like his obituary and cards and stuff. She put some of those in there, and that's when she feels like she's missing him. She goes to that. She talks to him. She has his picture up there, and so that to her is her memorial part of that. I tell people, I have a lady who her daughter committed suicide. And so she said all through high school, her daughter kept saying, Mom, when I graduate, my name's going to be in lights. Well, so now what she does is do a celebration time for her, and she puts her name on the church billboard. And she said, I never thought that that would be the lights that she was talking about. So every June 15th, I just went out and did her thing with her on Monday. So she says, you're coming to my thing, right? You already have it down. I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I said, am I doing something? She said, yes, you're talking like you always do. But her thing is mental health is real. Like her daughter was going through some things with mental health, and her dad told her, you don't need to take that medication. That stuff's not worth nothing. You don't need to take that. And what she did was stop taking it, and her mom didn't know it. And she shot herself. She just committed suicide. Sent her mom a text and said, I don't want to do this anymore. In the next room, her mom heard the gun go off. So her celebration for that is that she does something every year on the 15th of June to celebrate her daughter and put her name in lights. And then get in a group counseling session or get in an individual counseling session. Something that will put you with other people who are going through the same things that you're going through. So those are healthy ways to go through your process of grief. Any questions so far? When you're grieving, we have to go through we have to heal our whole body, our whole self. Not just, oh, well, I'm going to do this brain dump and that's all I'm doing. I'm going to work on my mind, but, the rest of my body's falling apart. No, grief affects our mind, our body, our spirit, and relationships. Because if you're not doing what you need to do in a healthy manner, when you're trying to have a relationship with your children, when you're trying to have a relationship with your spouse, it does not work. And they're wondering, I'm going to leave you if you don't get yourself together. But, we have to realize when we're to that point. Simple examples, we need to rest. As much as we can, we need to eat a balanced meal. We need to walk and get fresh air. We need to breathe in and out. I tell people, count to 10, count to 5. Pause, do that so that you can breathe in fresh air and let out the old air. And accept help. If somebody's saying, what can I do for you? What can I help you with? What do you need? Nothing. No, say, well, I really need to get his room or her room cleaned out, or my spouse's stuff is still in the closet or still on the bathroom sink. I need help trying to get in that direction to do that. Or give me some steps of how I can do it. How do I clean out that room that they've been in for all these years? So accept the help when people come and ask you. Any questions so far? Any of these things that you felt like you were going through but didn't know how to get through it?
I think for me, one of the hardest things with grief is like the anger of people around me, like my husband and my daughter's mad at me. Mm-hmm. My daughter-in-law, my son's wife, they've all butted heads big time. I'm kind of caught in the middle. And it was like trying to help the daughter-in-law, and then she gets real defensive, and then my husband, is just so angry at the daughter-in-law, just angry. Yeah. And then my daughter, is very angry at, her sister-in-law, my son's wife, and then they're like wanting to, I'm stuck in the middle of this, and then you don't have a chance to grieve. Relationships with anybody I want to.
Right.
And
because even if you did, that's not healthy either.
No, it's not. But
yeah, he's got to be able to talk to her so that he can get out what he feels, what's really angering him, how he feels about her, you know.
Yeah, well, he
So
says that, I mean, I don't know if this is the place to say this. He's saying that she killed our son. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody wants us to hear that.
Right,
You know?
right.
I don't know.
And but you know that's something he may need to do a brain dump. He may need to go talk to someone.
Yeah, and I'm
You know.
trying to get him
To come.
to go to some counseling.
Yeah, because the only way that's going to help is he has to talk about it and he has to get it out, and not because you guys can't do anything about it. You know, because you do feel like you're in the middle. If you have to weigh out, well, if I'm going your side, then you know I'm letting her down, and then they had grandchildren,
they had
two children. So how often will you get to see them if you tell her you don't want? If your attitude was like his, which would you ever get to see the grandchildren anymore? And so I see how you're trying to balance it out, but sometimes somebody's going to have to give in that relationship. Yeah. Anything else?
When you said about the isolation, my mom's been gone. Be 2 years in July. July. And I just feel, and when the isolation came up there, because I've, how doing in the nursing career, you have a lot of grief, steps of grieving and all that.
That's
you have all
right.
this stuff, but I never saw isolation. And I'm thinking, since she's been gone, I'm kind of isolating myself from a lot of her people.
Right.
Her brother, he lives in Florida. I just don't want to be around them, or I just kind of want my little circle, my immediate family. That's all I want right now.
Right.
As far as closeness,
Right.
not other people. I think isolation. I think, is that what I'm doing? Is that part of? Is that
You're grieving,
actually? Because I used to be, everybody, just fun with everybody. But now I don't want that.
Right. Right.
So am I still grieving?
You are still grieving. Yeah, very
We were
much
real
so.
close, we did everything together. In fact, I retired so that we could do things together and all that. And so it's just like now it's
What
like
do I
here,
do?
she would be here with me today if she was living, because we go everywhere and do it.
Right.
So isolation, that's what I don't want anybody but my little
That's
small
exactly
circle.
what you're doing. Yeah. Doing, isolating yourself from the people who would connect you to her. Like her family, like her siblings are the people that you're really having a hard time dealing with because of them reminding you probably of her and the things that she does and did back then. So, yeah. Were you going to share something with her? Or that you, okay. All right. So, I saw this. Right now, my grief needs what? Does it need rest? Does your grief need permission to grieve? Does your grief need understanding? Does your grief need the community to come in and help you through this? Does your grief need silence? Does it need hope? Or does it just need time? And, you may look at that and go, wow, I need all of them. My grief needs all of those. Or my grief just needs permission to let myself grieve. So what do you think?
I think probably the main thing for me is probably understanding. I want people to understand that the way they're feeling is not just a choice. There are a lot of those reactions that people are having.
Right.
It's grief.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And people think that other people are just being mean. You're just being mean. You just don't want to do such and such. No, I just don't know how to handle my grief. I don't know how to get through that process. And I tell people a process is something that keeps moving. That's why it doesn't have an expiration date. It has to keep moving. And if you get stuck, stress causes it hinders your grief from moving forward. So if you're under stress, you're under a lot of stuff, then your grief is not going to move forward.
That silence is good, I think. You don't need a whole lot of people telling you what to do. You need to do this.
Right.
And
Right.
you know your body, you know your mind. Just ask the Lord to show you what you need. And just people need to be silent about that. Don't. If I was you, I'd do this, do that.
Yeah. If I were you,
silent.
like you didn't go through this, I'm going through this. This is my
personal,
own grieving.
This is a personal thing.
That's right. Yeah, it is a personal. It's a personal process that you have to do. Your grief is different from her grief, and yours is different from hers. And it could be that you both lost children, or it could be that you both lost parents, or you both. It's still different, but you may be able to help one another through certain things. Like when I got to that point, this is how I got through it. Or when I got to this point, this is how I went through it. And in order to get through that, I needed somebody to tell me something, you know. Somebody may have used one word that you went, ding, the light bulb came on, and it helped me through my process. But if you're never around anybody, and you're never talking to anybody, and you're never sharing what you're going through or what you're dealing with, then people don't know. And they don't know. The Holy Spirit will guide people to you. Sometimes you're going through something so that you can help somebody else. And you're like, Lord, don't put that on because I don't know what I'm doing right now. You know? So sometimes it's hard to even know what to ask for or to even know what to do if you don't share and you don't open up and you don't allow time to move you through that process. I think the last grief session I talked about hope. You know, where is your hope? What is your hope built on? Is it built on what people tell you, or is it built on what God has already ordained for you during this time? Because He knew before all this. He just let you borrow those people. Those loved ones that you've lost, He only let you borrow them, not keep them forever. But we as humans, we're selfish, and we want them to stay right here all our lives. Let me go first, Lord. Don't take that one from me. Don't take this one from me. You know. But he understands. He understands the brokenhearted, and that's why I use that scripture at the very beginning. You know, he loves. He does his best work whenever he sees us going through something because he knows we need that blessing. We need that from him. And he's the only one that can give it to us. We can, other people can give you, directions and tell choices, but what you choose is on you.
Right.
And how you deal with it is on you.
And I think, too, is you prepare yourself for things because people, as you said, not going to be here forever.
Right.
You think, how am I going to react? I know what's going on. I said, just give me strength to know that whenever it happens,
what is your prayer? Yeah.
I can go through it. Mm-hmm. And you think of the good memories you had and all that.
That's right.
When it happens, I knew this was going to happen, but
it still hurts.
It hurts.
It still hurts.
But we had a lifetime, together. We went places, did things, and all that. So we have
a lot of
memories. On the memories and the good things rather than
she not here. I can't do nothing.
I can't do this. Because you think that they would want you to go on. Well, they would hope for your life to go on and to be happy.
That's right.
And remember them in happiness, not in sadness.
I had a lady. She lost her mom maybe 4 months ago, and she said they were best friends. Like they did everything together. She said after I became an adult, it was like our whole thing changed. Like we went everywhere together, did everything together. But her thing was when she got so sick, she was like, I prefer God to take her because that's not my mom laying there.
Right.
That's not who I can go and talk to. And her mom told her before she died, she said, what I need from you, because her mom knew that she was in transition, she said, what I need from you is to live. Don't stop living because I'm not here.
Right.
Life. Celebrate life. Mm-hmm. You celebrate her life by doing things that she enjoyed or celebrate living by going to live your life. Because for the last few years, you've been just doing her. And she knew that. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I want you to go live now. My time is done. My time is done. And so even when we know they're passing, it still hurts. It still hurts at the end. When it's something tragic that takes place, we're not expecting it. We feel like we weren't prepared.
Right.
But God said, yes, you are. Yes, you are. I left you here for a reason. Because somebody's going to need you to tell them that. Yeah. So, any other questions?
When you, like you said, when something happens suddenly like that, you go into shock. Into shock at first, and then you, what do you do to bring yourself around out of that shock stage?
Right.
Shock and stage, you know, you're there and you got so many emotions going on.
Right.
And you just wonder how you, I've never, well, you know, whenever our church member passed,
Miss Brenda.
Johnson, that was a shock.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
So the Sunday before that, we were having Christmas at church. And I got a picture of her and everything, smiling and everything.
Yeah.
And the next Sunday, she's gone.
Yeah.
So that's a shock, you know, and everybody's like,
Yeah, your whole church family. And I talked to your
she was a
pastor.
pillar of the church, you know, and always was in an upbeat mood, always kept everybody else upbeat, doing for others and everything.
Yeah.
So anybody when it's a shock like that,
Yeah.
you have to just, I guess, get yourself together and say, Lord, just help me.
That's right. That's the only person you can call on at that time.
Right.
Because no matter what someone else may say to you at that particular time, first of all, you don't really hear them because you're just like, what is going on? Did this really just happen? Did I really just get this phone call? And so it takes you a little while before you really say, this really happened.
Yeah. Before you can process.
Before you can process it. And so when it's such a pillar like she was in y'all's church family, yeah, the whole church family struggled with that.
Right.
They all struggled with that, losing that particular person. And so we have to step back, take a deep breath. We have to, ask God for, pray and ask God, look, help me through this. Help me to be able to comfort someone else, even though I'm grieving and I'm stunned right now. Help me to help someone else. Because that's what we're actually here on earth for anyway, is to help other people and draw other people closer to Him. Her death was not an accident. No. God already knew. We may not have known, right. But God knew what He was doing at that particular time because He makes no mistakes. No.
Yeah. And it taught us to step up and move on, keep it going, because that's what she would want, not just stop and just be right there in that spot. You have to move on.
And
can I ask, did she have like just a sudden health episode, like a stroke or a heart attack or something?
Yes, she did. I never found out what it was, but my understanding, I was in California at the time.
Oh, wow.
Finished in December at East Carolina. So she wanted to go to Los Angeles, to little Tokyo she likes.
Yeah.
Japan for her vacation, for her present. So we all went out there. And that's when I found out. So I was out there. I got Mother Williams called me. I got out there about 7 o'clock that morning. And told me she died. And I understand that on that Sunday she didn't go to church. And she went to the hospital, Edith Care to the hospital. And they found nothing wrong with her. She just wasn't feeling well.
Isn't that something?
And she went home, and Edith spent time with her that night, went home, and she went back the next morning. She lived by herself. Her husband had passed. And she was still warm. She had gone home. So, we don't know. It must have been a heart attack, stroke, or something. Because I think it was maybe a stroke. Because she's had little TIAs in the past. She had been, was in the hospital having little TIAs, little mini strokes they call them, several times. So I feel like that's what it was. But she had
in her sleep,
Yeah, she had no effects from little TIAs, just so I think that's what actually close to death.
Yeah. Wow.
I know in our family, my mom's side of the family, there was a lot of, in the males, there was a lot of cardiac sudden death kind of things. Some of, aneurysm, heart attack, whatever. And my mom's youngest brother, who was like a special needs person, would always say that he just wanted to wake up dead.
Wake up.
He just wanted to wake up dead. And he passed away, I think it was in 86. And I was living in Ohio at the time, but I know my mom went to check on him. And he had sat down in the chair that night before and took his shoes off and just sat in the chair and like just fell asleep. And so he said he got, because of having worked in healthcare, we see so much suffering. We see people linger, just on and on.
Right.
And, I have a friend that's in a nursing home in Bisco that I try to visit every week or so. And, you see a lot of sadness and just really suffering. So I know sometimes I think I find comfort in that somebody did not go through extended, extended
Sickness.
Yeah.
That's how my mom, she had pancreatic cancer in 2013, and she was a miracle because she lived. She died in 2024, so she lived 11 years.
That is
and so she always, but the doctor told me at UNC, he said, I'm going to go in. I said, if it's bad, you'll see me in 2 hours, but if not, I'm going on with the surgery. So anyway, of course I was praying, and 2 hours came, 3 hours, and 4 hours, so he was going on. But he told me that, and I know nothing of the Lord, it was a capsule around the cancer. And so it was isolated, and it didn't spread. So, but she had to have chemo and every year do a scan and all that. And they declared her on the 10th year cancer-free.
Wow.
Well, that's why I say you're never cancer-free. It's dormant in your body. It comes back.
It's in remission.
It's remission.
It's remission.
It's not free. So I don't like to use that word cancer-free. But anyway, it came back in her lungs. And we had gone to Florida, her brother, in July. This is how quick she died. July the 6th, we were in Florida at her brother's 62nd wedding anniversary. She was sick down, and she got sick down there, and I was hoping, I said, Lord, just let me get her home, because she was coughing and all that. Got back that Sunday, I took her to the doctor on that Monday, and he said she had pneumonia, and gave her medicines, but she never got any better. So that Sunday, my sister came home from Charlotte with us, and she just could hardly walk. She was out of breath. I said, that's it. Because I took the doctor that Monday and Sunday, she had gotten worse. I called an ambulance. I said, you going to the hospital? I said, so we went to the hospital on that Sunday, and she died. I brought her home that Friday. She died that Friday night because after I saw the x-ray, one side of her lung was whited out, and she only had a fourth of this lung that she. So the doctor, we put her on hospice. We talked and everything. So I put her on hospice that Thursday because I sent her to the nursing home for a day because they go do rehab out there and all that. But she only spent one night out there, and the oxygen level was so low, they had to send her back to the hospital. So I went over there that Thursday night and I talked to the doctor, and then that Friday we brought her home. She got home about 2 o'clock that evening, and she died about 9 o'clock that night.
My
so
goodness.
she was in Florida 2 weeks before.
Right.
Walking and talking and everything. So she went that quick. And I'm glad she did. Like I say, I didn't want her to suffer. And she always said she wished the Lord just take her, not let her suffer and all that. And he did.
Right. And when you were saying that about she was in Florida with her family, her siblings,
We took it down.
that may be that part of you that you feel like, I don't want to see them, because that's relating you back to them. That's the last time that you and her were there with them. And so it's not that you don't want to see them, it's that relationship that was right there. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you said, some people, when I was in the hospital, some people want people to linger on
Yeah.
or keep
Don't
united.
leave me. Don't leave
They
me.
live their life.
Yeah.
It's for you. It's not for them.
Yeah.
Your feelings
Yeah.
are. It's
Right.
for you. So let them go in peace and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I had even had one person one time years ago. This lady, she had already made her living will out. She didn't want any tubes, no speeding tubes, anything like that. And her daughters couldn't accept that. And they went to court and got that revised. And
Wow.
I mean, why you do that?
Wow.
And
Because she knows what
she wanted that.
Yeah.
So her husband had gone through
All that.
bad process and all that. She said, I didn't want that to happen to me. So she made it out. And they didn't
While
respect
she was in her
wishes.
sound mind.
And they didn't respect her wishes.
Right.
Well, so many times I think we see people are upset, they're grieving, and people lose their minds. I
Yeah.
mean, they're just not making good decisions. And working in healthcare, wow,
You guys
we saw
know.
a lot.
Yeah.
We saw
I was gonna say
a
you guys.
lot.
I know you guys see a
We
lot of
saw
that.
a lot of that, and we saw so much suffering and sadness.
And family squabbles. And
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Now-
and
now
that
see,
relative who
they
hadn't
see-
seen them in 10 years.
They don't.
When I worked in nursing home, wow. On Sundays, people come, 2 or 3, same ones come to visit people. Same one. But when they heard about the die,
It's a room full of people. A room full of people.
Yeah, it's like, why would you there when they could visit with you and talk with you and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I know a young girl. Her mom she came from Asheville, and they put her in a facility down here in Sanford, and she was here in Sanford. And I said, you need to go see your mom while she's here, close to you, I can see her anytime. I can see her anytime. But she did that for months, I finally got her up there to see her one time while she was here in Sanford. Then they moved her back to Asheville in the mountains to a facility. And then she couldn't go see her at all while she was there. And then when she passed, now it's like every Mother's Day, I miss my mama. I miss my mama. I want to say so bad, you never went to see her when I told you to go see her. But now you miss her.
Yeah, you miss it. And you miss some memories that you made with her. My mom and I, we went on cruises together.
Yeah.
We went on bus trips together.
Yeah.
Went to the beach together. Just everything. To Outer Banks, we used to go down there. My sister and I, we rent a home down at Outer Banks for a week. We all go down there for a week and stay the whole week.
What wonderful memories.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Now, do you
memories.
have pictures of all of those different places y'all been?
Oh, that's neat.
You can celebrate that by putting that all in one collage and have it up there and celebrating your mom's life and have all those pictures on a collage, and you can put it. I mean, you can have it a 14 by 22 poster size picture.
And even my father, because we were close, but he didn't like to go on trips, so
He didn't get to go with the girls.
He died the day before his 95th birthday, and he was good up until about 6 months before he passed. He got Alzheimer's, and but I tell you, he never forgot to say his blessings and say his prayers.
Isn't that something?
I said he had Alzheimer's, but he still remembered.
He still remember that.
And
Yeah.
he didn't suffer. He just went. But and I thank God for the Lord leads you. And my sister and I one day in Charlotte, we decided to 2024. That was in April during the spring break. We rented a place in Outer Banks. It was we said to bring everybody, all family, all children, all grandchildren, everybody gonna go have a big thing. And that was in April. Before my mom died in July. So we did. All the children got there, all the family, all the grandchildren. So we rented a 20-bedroom house.
Wow.
It was just
Wow.
on the beach. It cost.
It's just man, it goes.
It was QW Hills.
Okay, yeah.
Right there, could see the rights.
Yeah.
And so it was a new home, a beautiful home, right there on the ocean front.
Oh.
Right.
We said, we're going to do this with our mom and her friend, because she was 88. And we said, we're going to do this. But we never know we're going to get to do it again.
Yeah.
So we planned and we got the money together and we did. And we all had a good time. Even her cousin came down from Virginia, and just everybody was there. So it was very nice.
Oh, that sounds like what dreams are made of.
Oh yeah, so we did. So I said thank you, because he knew that that would be her last time that and he had put in my spirit to get the family together.
Right.
So we all had those good memories.
Yeah, that is wonderful. That is wonderful.
Yeah, but things I expect you said like that.
Mm-hmm. Those even with my mother-in-law, when she got really sick, and my husband had a hard time accepting her death and I told him, I said, look, she is transitioning. He didn't want to hear that, because he's the baby boy. He didn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But, I told him, I said, you have to help me. I cannot do all this by myself. And so once he got into, getting her medicine set up, taking her to doctor's appointments, he probably didn't take her to many doctor's appointments. She was like, I want Dorothy to do it. He's like, Mama, you act like you love her more than you do me. She didn't say a word. She just turned her head. But now when our girls come over, that's all they talk about is grandma, and he loves it. He's like, I celebrate her because my kids celebrate her. They have all these memories of her, and they make us laugh talking about how she did things, and watching the 600-pound life. And like she'll call Doug from upstairs and say, "Come down here," because we had her in my office. I gave her my office space for her bedroom, and so she'll call him. He said, "What, Mom? You need something?" He said, "Look yonder." Look, he said. She said, "Now if you don't quit eating, you're gonna look just like them people on there." He said, "Okay, Mom." But since that he's probably lost 175.
Oh, wow.
When did she pass?
She died in 2018.
Okay.
2018. So, yeah. So he's like, yeah, Mama. I don't think Mama can tell me that no more. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna eat this anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Thank you all so much for coming and sharing with me.
That's your son-in-law, my picture here.
Oh, you got.
That's
Andrew.
lovely.
Yeah, on his Christmas jacket.
Yes.
And that was
that picture.
Yeah.
Was it on the slideshow?
It might have been on something.
Yeah, that's my son-in-law right there.
Yeah,
That's
that
my
was
oldest boy.
the Sunday before she passed.
That's the Sunday before she passed.
Wow.
At our Christmas party. And
Wow.
That is
now she looked, now she was smiling.
Yes.
Well, thank you all. Thank you all for
thank you
joining
for
us
having
on
me. Really,
Facebook.
thank you.
And thank you for sitting in, listening to us. I hope you got something from it. And please feel free to give me a call if you need to set up an appointment or anything. We thank you in advance for everything. Thank you for coming on today and sharing with us. Thank my guests who came today also to share with me in person. So we look forward to seeing you in September when we do this again. Thank y'all so